Welcome back everybody to the GKA Kite World Cup here in Tarifa, the Tarifa Kite Pro. Sitting in the booth with me now we have Oswald Smith from South Africa. Ozzy, good to have you back. It's really good to see you back at one of the freestyle events. Just coming back from Holland, absolutely killing it. Pretty much a Tarifa local, so you spend a lot of time here. How has it been back in your second hometown?
Yeah, so dude, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be back here. Tarifa has always got such a good vibe, such a strong energy. The people love life, like I can't explain to you. And there's always something to do, you know, like there's not much wind, the guys are foiling now, and you know, there's always something happening. The Chiringuitos are on fire, the babes are out of this world. I mean, dude, this place is sick. I'm so happy to be back.
You gotta, now you understand why I live here.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a local now, you know, basically.
Nah, it's definitely, Tarifa has that. It has that special sauce. It has, you know, it has the fire. It has the vibe. It's, you know, on the kiting scene. It's been there since day one. You know, we had the Red Bull Sky Riders. You know, guys like Flash Austin, Robbie Nash, back in the day, 1999. And you know, kiting's been a really big part of Tarifa. And you know, any given day of the week, there's a couple hundred kiters out, and like you say, there's a very good general vibe, and it's the lifestyle.
Yeah, basically, like Tarifa is kiting. Like if you think about kiting or windsurfing or where everything basically started, like this is one of those places. Mm-hmm. It's the origin of a lot of, you know, a lot of the sport. A lot grew here, a lot started here, and some of the best riders from the world are here, you know. So it's not only like part of the vibe, but it is just Tarifa. It's part of it. It's there. Yeah, and it's good to be involved, you know.
It's definitely a cool place, and I mean, I think also like this is one of the first mixed events that we're having, all the disciplines coming together, showing what kite surfing is. Wind hasn't been on our side so far. I know Tarifa will prevail. It's you know, it looks like the thermal's coming in. We're very close to, you know, guys and girls are out on the foils there. We're very close to being suitable. We want to get everybody out on the water. And Ozzy, I mean, you know, I've known you since the, you know, back in the era days when I was on the team, and you were the Grom coming up, and you're such a complete rider on and off the water. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we're aiming for, eh? We're aiming for riders that can do a bit of everything. They really, you're looking for ambassadors. You're looking for people to look up to. And you know, you coming from Cape Town, it's a very big kiting scene there as well. You know, you love the strong wind. Just came back from Holland. Megaloop absolutely killed it in the dying seconds of the heat. But I know you were stoked about that. But then, you know, you ripping the waves. You're one of the super stylish freestyle riders. Have you got any favorite sections of the sport, or is it just in general?
Yo, dude, first of all, I'm feeling stoked now. That was very nice of you. But yeah, dude, I feel like kiting's got so many different aspects and like avenues of fun, so you just have to explore, you know. And I feel like freestyle's got its place, big air's got its place, wave running's got its place, and every single like different division has got its own stoke. And for me, like, I can never say which one's the best. Freestyle's like that full-on technical talent style. Like there's something about freestyle, you know, and it's really hard. Wave riding again is like flowing and just smooth carves and fucking hacks.
Exactly.
It makes me so stoked. And big air is like, it's just balls to the wall, adrenaline overdose to the max. And that's why if you can do everything the whole time, it keeps it interesting, and you always have interest in the sport, and there's always more to learn, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I saw you just before you were going to Holland. You were like, all right, I'm on a mission. I'm going out there. You were like, listen, I got one kite. I'm taking my 8-meter razor, balls to the wall. There's nothing, you know, there's 50 knots out there. I think it was, you know, 40 to 50 knot gusts. The loops you guys were pulling were insane. And you, like I said, dying seconds of that heat. We had Bascula and Lewis Craffen doing the live stream for that event for the Red Bull Mega Loop, and you know, seeing all the details, and you just went absolutely huge. What does it feel? I mean, you know, everybody's on the beach watching. You're there you're pretty much kiting with your mates, and it's like, you know, beers are on, and who's going to pay the tab at the end of the party?
Basically. I mean, at that event, it's definitely the craziest thing I've ever done. I wasn't even prepared to be in the comp. They told me a day before the comp, hey, do you want to do it? And I saw you at at Powerhouse, and you're like, actually, just do it.
Yeah.
So I said, why not? So packed in one kite, one board, one bar, and just went for it. And yeah, like with that event, anything can happen. It's so strong, it's so windy that there's actually no advantage for anyone, you know. And we're all brothers on tour, and we're all friends there. So whoever wins, like you said, pays the bills. So a lot of the prize money went there, but it stayed there. But it's just good to be to be part of something like big like that, different and extreme.
Yeah.
And I feel like if like a strong Levante Day comes back in Tarifa, it's basically going to be the same, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, that's I think that's also a goal. We want that, you know, that discipline of the sport. It's been around for a long time. You know, the guys that started putting up, you know, guys like Ruben Lenton, Aaron Hadlow, they started with the Megaloops. Lewis Craffen also seriously involved in pushing that sport. Then, especially, I think it's fair to say that the Cape Town scene kind of started to push that, and with the help of brands like, you know, Red Bull, who put in on competitions since day one, they have such support, and the, you know, how they a company like that gives to all the different sports, you know, must be super nice to be involved with an event with them.
No, for sure. Like they help out a lot. They see the potential in the sport. They know the risk, and you know, they want to be part of it. And I feel like Big Air it's insane. It's one of the coolest things to watch. Like, if you're a spectator on the beach and you see a guy jumping 20 meters, flying like a rocket through the air, not knowing if he's gonna live or die, like even you feel something. You know, I get scared, and that just that rush and that feeling, like people, you should get involved. If you guys want to ride, go Big Air, send it.
Absolutely. I mean, like, talking about Big Air, it's, you know, we're all about, you know, in the Kitesurf World Tour and the Kite World Tour, it's all about getting a complete ride in, and Big Air is becoming part of the tour more and more. And like, for example, the open format, this Tarifa event is an open format event. What does that mean? Open format means that if conditions are suitable, so, you know, if it's 9 prime time, you will go big, and 2 of the 6 or 7 attempts that the riders have will count as a Big Air trick. So for example, you do your 2 big handle passes, get some good scores, and then you do 2 Big Air tricks, you know, boogie loop or layback. So I think it's really good to start seeing also the Big Air, which kind of disappeared for a bit, coming back into the competition scene and mixing up, because I think a day in any kiter's life is, if it's from 15 to 25, 30 knots, you're going to be doing freestyles, so handle passes, doubles. If it's over 35, 40, in the end, what you guys do is you just go big, and you're going up and you're looping and you have fun. So I think you got to send it. So I think that's an important thing. And, you know, you're a very complete rider, like I was mentioning before. How do you like that is starting to become part of the competition scene?
Like, for me, I think that's one of the best things we could have done for the sport itself. Like I said, Big Air is such an important part of kiting, and it faded away. It was gone, and now the GKA is trying to bring it back. And with this open format, it also levels out the playing field, you know. So you got to be good at this, you got to be good at freestyle and Big Air, and it just gets you the best all-round rider. And for me, like, I'm back on tour because of that. That makes me stoked. I feel like that's what a world champion is, or just somebody that can push it in all the aspects of the sport. And it's exciting, you know, like you never know what's going to happen now. Normally in freestyle events, you actually know the guy's repertoire before he does it. So he's going to do a front blind mob, he's going to do a blind judge 5, and it's always the same. Not always the same. There's some guys that innovate like crazy. But what I mean is,
I know what you mean.
It's like that, and now it creates that like wow factor, you know, like what's going to happen next? What's he going to do? He's got one bigger trick. He's got another one left. So yeah, it creates suspense, and it creates a lot of, I don't know, it's going to be sick. I'm amped.
Yeah, no, I mean, all of us are amped. Just missing a key factor right now, which is the wind, like we're saying. Yeah. Day 2 here at the Tarifa Kite Pro 2019 in Tarifa. Unfortunately, wind isn't quite there yet. We have all the gears ready. We're ready to fire. All of these guys are getting amped. But yeah, it does look a little bit off the right-hand side of my screen. It does look like we do have a little bit of wind, but yeah, just still not quite there yet. I mean, also, Ozzy, like, you know, Cape Town scene. You've grown up there. You know, obviously you're going to be a good kiter in strong winds, because, you know, the doctor, that thing can blow.
Doctor, yeah.
And I mean, it's very similar to Tarifa Levante, like you were mentioning before. How do you compare like a strong Levante to a strong Cape Town day?
So basically, Levante here in Tarifa gets insanely strong. like you get 50 knots strong, but it's a little bit more of a thin air, thin wind compared to Cape Town, where it's like a 40 knots is like a thick, strong, like dense power. You know, there's something like in there. It's like a ammo that's just there. Also in Cape Town we have kickers coming on the left, so it's a cross-shore wind, and then you get kickers on the left, so it helps jump a lot higher. Levante, it's offshore completely, so
flat.
it is flat. Every now and then you get a few waves, but it's not the same as like a 4-meter kicker or 5-meter kicker. But I mean, dude, it's sick here. You know, like, it is a little bit more gusty in Tarifa because it's offshore, so it gets a little bit more scary. But that also just excites you more, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's different. It's good. Cape Town's completely different than here. It's a lot colder, that's for sure. And but on some days, I think Tarifa can be stronger than Cape Town, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think both places they can hold strong wind, and like you're saying, I mean, there's we're in front of the Bibo Beach House by Danny Garcia, one of our main sponsors. This location, this new restaurant that these guys have put together. Danny Garcia, a couple of Michelin stars, one of the most renowned chefs in Spain. So great to see outside industry supporting an event like this. And we're here at Val de Vaqueros. Val de Vaqueros is probably one of the main beaches here in Tarifa, and it's actually the beach that holds both winds, because like you say, Tarifa, you have the cross offshore wind, which is the Levante, the strong one we've been talking about, and then you have a cross onshore wind from the right, which is the Poniente, which is the wind that we have today, or the little bit of wind that we have today. Ozzy, you've hung out here for a while. If you could choose a day in Tarifa, what would you ask for? And then I'll say, if you could choose a night in Tarifa, what would you ask for?
Every day in Tarifa is different. Every night in Tarifa is different. That's for sure. Nothing is ever the same. But if I could ask for a perfect day in Tarifa, what would make me stoked is to rack up the crew, wake up early. Not that I'll ever wake up that early, but wake up early, rack up the crew, come to the beach, play a little bit of music, listen to some jam, have a few drinks, just to add the stoke,
Why
just
not?
a few drinks, a couple, not too much, just enough. Then go in the water, shred, meet some babes, go have a drink again, do it back, maybe go for a hike in the mountain, and then just link up with everyone afterwards, and that's when the fun starts at night as well. But how I see it every time in Tarifa is, if you don't ride hard, you don't play hard.
Absolutely, yeah. I like it. I like it. If you don't ride hard, you don't play hard.
Then you don't deserve to play hard. So the harder you ride, like that's my motivation sometimes. Guys, I want to send it tonight, so I got to send it today.
That's why we want the wind to come in, so we can see the vibe. And yeah, like you're saying, I think overall performance is important, daylight and nightlife. So Tarifa is the food, the culture, the vibe, the girls, everything, the beach, the sun. It is a very complete and harsh package. And yeah, definitely, I mean, Tarifa is probably one of the most constant windy places in the world.
Sure.
You've got more than 250 days of wind a year. So far, 2 days we haven't had any wind, but I know it will prevail for us. And yeah, we're ready, all pistons firing to get this off. And Ozzy, like seeing how freestyle is evolving, and you can see, I think one of the things I was judging in Gran Canaria, and I really like seeing in some of the upcoming new riders, and then some of the riders with more experience, is the simplicity. It's gone back to quality over quantity, paying attention to details, like for example, you have one of the nicest front blind mobs. You really extend those legs at the top and you get that full like tantrum inversion, and it's such a simple move compared to, let's say, maybe a double or a 9, but the judges are really paying attention to details and giving high scores for those kind of things. Do you agree with this? Do you like where the sport has been taken and the judging criteria is going?
Yeah, for sure. Like quality over quantity, for sure. 100%, no doubt in my mind. Also, if you do something, make it look good. That's the thing. Like, if you do front blind mob, just make it look good instead of trying something else that doesn't look that good. I'm very fixated and biased towards the style side. I feel like, that's what people are gonna. Come on, man! I got the flower, bro.
I want next year. Next year, flowers, Mystic flower T-shirts.
Whoa, this is Mystic.
There you go. I gotta get this one from you, Ozzy. I gotta get this one.
Just saying. But yeah, bro. Like, I think like style is important. Make it look good, and then that's all that matters, you know. I got a lot of respect for the guys going out there doing triples. I think that is insane, mind blowing. I will never like push them down, but for me personally, I think make it look good, add a grab, tweak it out, put your kite low, like just do it as best as you can, and that should be rewarded. And for this like format and currently now the judging system, like they are rewarding it, and I think that's awesome. I think that's super sick.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was judging in Gran Canaria, and you know, the judging panel, we really are looking for, you know, the people who risk it, that they give that power, execution, and dedication. Like, you know, for example, like Jean-Maria Cocoluto, one of the upcoming riders, very, very powerful. He had a KGB5 grab to blind. He literally locked in his blind maybe 6 foot above the water, came down, completely stomped it, and got almost the same score as someone doing a KGB7. So, and then like guys like Aaron Rosley getting 6.5 on a 5.0 back mode because of that style. And then the girls. Ozzy, now let's talk about the girls on and off the water. So let's do the ones on the water first. They are ripping, eh? You can see, you know, girls like Mika, girls like Rita, and on the strapless side too, they're pushing the envelope. It's really good to see. They're giving you guys a run for your money.
I'm super impressed by the girls. Like, I've been on tour for quite a while, and there has been a static moment, like from the girls riding for a long time. Yeah. Like, I'm not, ladies, love you guys, but it was static for a while, and now it's just insane. Like, girls are doing back mode 5s, they're doing double S3s, like that never happened, you know. And now it's like, I actually thought it was impossible. No, but like, sorry, but now, dude, they are killing it, and I've got so much respect for that, and I feel like there is no more holding back, you know, like, they're not like, oh my god, I don't want to hurt myself. It's like, dude, I'm going for this.
No, they're rad. They are full on. I mean, Gran Canaria was a little light, but you could see they just go for it. And then, like on the Mega Loop stuff, you see like Hannah Whiteley or Peeper. They go absolutely huge and just you know, send it. I think it would be really good to also to see in some of the big air contests. I will put my hand in the fire and say we're going to be seeing some female divisions, and then which is going to be good, and it's really good to see them pushing the envelope.
There's a couple of like standout girls now for bigger as well. Even Angeline, the one from France, and this girl is crazy.
Didn't she? Like, she did in the Cape Town. She did a demonstration with Hannah.
Yeah, she did a demonstration. And I think she actually did bigger than some guys.
Absolutely.
This girl's insane.
It was ridiculous.
And so much respect towards that. You know, like, you rock.
That's how it. In the end, it's how it should be, and it's like we're saying. You know, there's no holding back, and I think women's sport and women, you know, women's fitness and how they're pushing forward. They will give you. I bet if we put a couple of the top girls from our divisions with the guys, there'd be some broken hearts.
No, for sure. I mean, that's for sure. Can't complain on that one. But I also gotta like give a big shout out to Michaeli, because Michaeli came out of nowhere and she pushed that level. And from a rider, like from riders and from your side as well, you can see that like this girl just going out there pushing it, and now all the other girls are like, hey, whoa guys, we need to get our shit together. So and that's how you push the sport, and that's how you need those innovators, you need those people, and that's what's going to push it forward, and I'm stoked.
No, definitely. There was a lot of stoke out there. Now, going back to the style, Ozzy, you just come. I know you know, Mystic, our official clothes sponsor, Max, all the guys at HQ, thank you for the great clothes. You know, one of the biggest brands in the industry, you know, all the accessories, everything just getting bigger and bigger. And I know you had a very good trip in Italy not so long ago. Tell us a little bit about that. You were with some of the riders, you know, girls like Bruna, Jalou, and then also Maxi, our local boy from here, unfortunately couldn't compete because he has a little injury. But yeah, how was that trip? I saw some photos. You can't tell us about the new clothes too much. I'm liking this. I'm hoping this is some of the new stuff. So tell me about it.
Yeah, so the Mystic guys are legends. Thanks for sponsoring the event, by the way. And basically, we racked up the crew, the core crew, and we just henceforth to Italy. Honestly, I actually had no idea where in Italy. I don't even remember the names of the places.
So it was a good trip.
It was a really good trip. But yeah, it was a mission. Like, we got there, lost all our gear. First 2 days had no gear. But all in all, the mission was good. Like, their vibe literally shows throughout their clothes. And for me, just to see the new collection was like, I was like, dude, I want it all.
Yeah.
Like, it is so sick. And they bring a lot of they add to kiting. You know, they have some of the best accessories out there, and all in all, that trip was insane. Like, some of my favorite trips are with the boys. You know, with the Mystic crew, and yeah, dude, you guys must check the new gear. It's sick.
Definitely. I got, like I said, I got my name on one of these shirts. But yeah, I think also the brands in general, you know, GKA Tour very supported by the industry, by the brands, and I think that's what's helping. You know, everything's kind of coming together. Like, I've been around in the kiting scene since 2000, done the PKA scene of how all the evolution is, and I think it's really nice. There was some, let's say, some lingering years on the competition side where it was a bit all over the place. I think it's really nice to start seeing it coming together. Guys like yourself coming back on tour, you know, I've always considered you're a soul searcher. You're one of those guys, a Machado of the kiting, where you know you're a peer, you do a competition, but then you're more of the free ride and the free spirit. But I want to see you killing it at this event, because watching you kiting, you've definitely got your stuff together, and it seems like you're finding that focus.
Yeah, I feel like all these little trips, they just add to you, and you learn more the whole time, and competition as well. And honestly, I'm not the best competition rider. Just you have to do this trick, you have to do this trick, this. It's hard for me sometimes because I just feel like doing whatever feels good. And sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't.
8 meter 45 knot gusty winds in Holland. It paid off. It paid off.
And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But it's not about that. It's just to be part of something and be part of the event and push it. Like, add your flavor, add your flair, and if you can inspire other people to push that side as well, then job well done. You know.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know, we just had a couple of screenshots there of the beach, Tarifa. Yeah. The motivation that this place shows when you can see, you know, the beach is full. Hopefully,
beach is so full.
Oh man.
Oh man. Okay.
Hopefully, after, you know, when the wind starts coming in, especially over the weekend, you know, Tarifa, we would get thousands of people on the beach, just ready, lined up, shouting at the top of their voice. And I think one of the special things about an event like this, it's a very kiting culture. So you have a lot of people who are involved in the sport, know all of you because you're here, you know, left, right, and center, and they really do support. Does that help you when you're on the water go that extra mile?
Dude, it's probably like one of the nicest things ever to know that everyone on the beach is stoked on kiting. They back you, and they support you, you know, like it's a little family. Most of the guys, I know them, they're all so stoked on kiting. Like, this is what brought them here, brought them to Tarifa, you know, the kiting, the vibe, everything. And like, when you get out the water just before you go in the heat, everyone's high-fiving you, everyone's stoked. And like, sometimes it adds you too much. Like myself, I can just take that power and I'm like,
just
go,
guys,
boom! I'm gonna ginger you now. And then everyone's just waving, and it's just like, everyone's just so happy for you, you know? And like, that's amazing, you know? It's such a beautiful vibe. You gotta be here to experience it, and that's also another thing that brings me back to Tarifa every time. You know, all that positivity.
Yeah, I mean, for me, hometown, travel the world, Tarifa has a special something that it always, you know, magnet keeps bringing me back. It's a great place to be. You know, it does get very busy in the summer, but it has a different vibe. Like the winter, the spring is chilled. You know, there's a little rain. It's green. Still very good cross onshore conditions. You know, some of those kicker days at Artavida, always good fun. And then also on the other side, when the summer starts coming through and the heat starts coming in, we get those 40 knot, you know, powerful Levantes. But I mean, just this image we have on screen now, that is pretty much what it's about. It's just, you know, nature 101, being able to enjoy it, you know, harness the energy and use as much as possible.
Also in Spain itself, like, you find all these big cities and everything developed, and now you come to Tarifa, but it's so raw, you know. Like, we are chilling on the beach now, there's sand dunes in the back, you can see that it's actually called Punta Paloma, and when you drive your car through there's like, you're like going through the craziest little nature reserve ever. And just around the corner you get what's it called, Bologna,
yeah,
some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. And the city itself is small, it's old, it's, you know, rural. And then up here you get, you know, like cows running around, the horses chilling, you know, you go play guitar in the fields. And like, just that rawness is special to still have in Europe, you know.
Yeah, I think we're very lucky also with, you know, in these modern ages to still have these like unique paradises where it still hasn't, you know, gone completely down.
We're selling
Tarifa. This is what we're here for. But yeah, I think, you know, everybody, you should come to Tarifa. Like we say, 250 days a win, 2 days less now because we haven't had wind for the first 2 days, but it is a place to be.
But you need a break as well.
We do.
Your body can't handle that.
No, it's sometimes it's just too much, and especially those gusty conditions, it does wreck you. But yeah, I mean, it does look like the flags are going up here. You can see some wind on the back, Ozzy. I'm seeing some
Honestly,
a wind line there. I'm hoping.
I don't know what you're seeing, but I don't see much wind, to be honest.
Yeah.
To be honest, but I mean,
that's because you're looking at the bikinis on the shore here. This is where your focus is going.
There, right? Yeah, but the thing with Tarifa is like the Levante winds. It comes from the mountains. It's super windy, and Poniente, it can come out of nowhere because it's thermal winds. So as soon as it gets darker and colder, it should get windy.
Yeah, I mean that is the way. That is the theory, and that's what's going to happen. The wind's going to start coming in. So Ozzy, great to have you here on the booth, man. It is awesome to see you back here in competition. I want to see you on another podium, and yeah, thank you very much for being here.
Sure,
we are just going to go to a short break. We're going to see if those flags really are going to come up. So we will see you guys soon.
Epic.
Welcome to the GKA Kite World Cup here in Tarifa, Spain, the kiteboarding capital of Europe. This is a combination event, which means we're going to be running freestyle division as well as the kite surf division. The freestyle registration took place this morning, and we have 32 men and 11 women from over 19 different nationalities registered to compete here this week. Our current top-ranked riders for the freestyle division are Carlos Mario, Maxime Chablot, and Valentine Rodriguez. And for the women's division, we have Michaeli Sol, Pippa van Eersel, and Bruna Kajia. Unfortunately, there was not enough wind to get started today, but we still have 5 days of competition ahead of us. Be sure to follow all the news updates and tune into the live stream.
Welcome back everybody here for the GKA World Cup in Tarifa Kite Pro 2019. Sitting with me here in the booth, Jaime Raez. Jaime, welcome. He is the organizer for this event. One more time, thank you very much for having us and for making this event happen in our hometown.
Well, first of all, thank you. Thanks to GKA. Did I just break it?
Can we plug it back in? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I was just saying that thank you so much for the GKA crew to hop over and come to our hometown Tarifa. It has been a mission to organize this event, but a grateful mission.
Yeah.
We really enjoy to have all of you here in town, and I mean this is has just started. And we can't wait to see the action and the live stream, and to have you guys all wound up on the action.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's really nice. Like, I'm here from Tarifa. Both of us live here together, work together. I think it's super cool to finally see all disciplines under one roof and at our hometown.
It is. It has, as you know, it has been a long time dream of mine to see everyone under the same roof, to see the Manufacturers Association godfathering the sport and taking responsibility out of the professional side of the sport. So this is what it's kind of like driven us. This is what it's bringing us together, to be under the same roof, organizing an event where everyone rides together.
Yeah, I mean, Jaime, you've been in kiting since day one. I think pretty much from the start. I think the first time I saw you ride was at the Sky Ride here, Red Bull, and yeah, you have been one of the godfathers of kiting. From the Space Monkey videos, I think all of us have slow-moed those mobs from day one to see how to do them, and then the likes of Martin Barry, Will James, Jeff Tobias. I think everybody has known you. How does it feel looking at the bulls from the other side of the fence now? You're event organizer, youngsters coming up. I know you have to slap a couple of them so they to put them in the check. How is that?
Well, it feels weird. It feels weird. I can only say that I think of myself as a prick. But back in the day, I was yeah, and
an animal,
and I didn't really see the backstage. Kind of like I'm pretty sure most of the riders here also are going through the same stage, and I don't blame them for that. They have enough on their plate. They need to focus on their careers. They probably don't really pay attention to what's going on behind the curtains. So it's okay, no offense taken. But yeah, when I think about what I used to do back in my days and how we used to treat the organizers, which most of them were really good friends of ours, yeah, I think of myself as a prick.
But I think it's a natural progression as well. It's good. Let's say I'm the generation after you in the kiting things. We learned from you guys. You put us in check more than once and still do now. And then we kind of pass the pole on to all of the new guys. I think in any sport, it's really nice, and especially talking to a lot of the riders, especially guys like Mitu Monteiro, is the family. It's passing down the knowledge generation to generation.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to say what you have done to get to where you are. But one thing I'm very proud of on our community is how that pull of the feel and the responsibility of being an ambassador for the sport keeps going over generation and generations. You guys took it from us, and you did an awesome job. And the next guys coming up, Liam, Jerome, the kinds, the rest of the team are doing it. So right now, they really feel the responsibility of being an ambassador of their sport, and I'm really proud to witness that part.
Yeah, they are definitely becoming champions on and off the water. Like you say, I really like the word ambassador, because you are an ambassador no matter where you are. You have to make sure that you are representing your sports, the brands and also the lifestyle and what a kiter athlete kinds of being. You can see a lot of the younger ones, and they're getting younger and younger and younger. And it's really good to see, especially some of the top riders, there's still that community, that family vibe. Like, I remember going to the first competitions with Gianni, Cesar, Alvarito, and then we'd always be next to you, Martin, Andrea, and I can see that same family now that there was the family before. So we've obviously done something right, so that because that vibe has still kept going down and down.
Yeah, something to feel proud of. Yeah, I think and also like I also feel proud that that the athletes, we have pushed the industry and our industry partners into that direction. It's when it gets to commercial wars, it's hard to lose that bottom line. But I think the athletes and the professional side of the sport has also enriched the industry loads, and that also you can feel it down here at the test area, where you see all brand managers and hanging out with each other. They party together, they hang out together. So I think that's something that it's to the athletes to be blamed of, and it's also something to be proud of.
No, definitely. I mean, and you must be proud of putting on an event like this, and also, guys, bringing in guys from the outside like Danny Garcia, one of the most renowned chefs. He has this amazing Bibo Beach House here in Tarifa, a very new thing here in Tarifa, and I mean, you guys have got to go and try this. The food is amazing. The school, I think the location this year, at Valdevaqueros Beach with this, it's really good to see other people and other aspects of different industries getting involved into kiting.
Yeah, it definitely is, because you see, when we were first meeting with Danny Garcia, they didn't know nothing about kiteboarding, but they just loved the vibe around this place, around Valdevaqueros. There's something in the air that it's extremely authentic, and that there's no money can buy it. No, you can't fake it. It's authentic. There's generations of sandy surfers coming and building a culture around it. For us, especially the landing of the Danny Garcia restaurant here in Tarifa was a great challenge, because it meant a change on directions on the way Valdevaqueros was drifting. This used to be an illegal campground with a lot of stain and a lot of trash on the beach, and that was something that we all felt ashamed of. So this new project has completely changed the way Valdevaqueros looks today, and probably it's only the beginning. It's gonna shape up into a whole different atmosphere and area, and hopefully will be capable of holding ground with the surfer culture and the idea or the culture we all have around here in Valdevaqueros, Tarifa.
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job of upping the scale a little bit, but still keeping that vibe, and the way everything from the food to the school, where it is, and how the building and the structure is done. Like I say, you guys have got to come and try it. It is an amazing place to be. Then also, I mean, Jaime, you've been doing this event from the beginning. Tarifa is the birthplace of, let's say, the GKA Tour and the GKA events. It's got, like you say, it's got the special sauce. It has a vibe and a special feel. How is it to make an event like this happen every year? I know you personally a lot. It's not easy, but every single year you've done it, and without the help of our sponsors, one more time, thank you very much for allowing us to call this our office for a week.
Yeah, well, I tell you, they say it's hard to take a result in the midst of the battle, Yeah. So right now I don't really have a result. What I can tell you, it's really, really hard to put this thing up together, and luckily, we have a lot of institutional aid, especially from the Ayuntamiento de Tarifa, Town Hall of Tarifa, which we share the same values and the same view, long-term and mid-term for Tarifa, and it's really easy and joyful to work with them. Same goes to Diputación de Cádiz and Turismo de Cádiz, which is the tourism board of Cádiz. And also, it's really easy and fun to work with them. They also share our long-term view of a natural sport destination. And now with La Junta, they just came in because of the new elections, but it seems like things are going in the same direction. Same goes to the industry. As I was saying earlier, most of the main brands are here on the beach already. But also I have to say very thankful to the Boards and More group, and especially to Ion Essentials, because they keep supporting this event. It's a lot of money for an industry brand, and they see it as a huge investment, and they keep supporting us. And I cannot thank them enough, because they're always there. I kind of they're my family, so I always come in like last minute and then with like lots of problems, but they never flinch. They're always there to help, and they always come up with solutions. And yeah, I cannot thank Boards and More enough. They really are a family, and always showing their love for us.
Yeah, they definitely. I mean, Boards and More group, they've been helping us, I think, throughout all the events, all the tour. Like you say, you've been a family member of the Boards and More group since Noah lost his arc, and I think it's the same thing kind of goes through down a lot of the main brands. It's they have the passion, and in the end all of us are in this for the passion. It's all about creating that lifestyle. And yeah, Ian, once again, thank you very much for helping us yet again, and I'm sure next year, a week before the event, we'll be right back there.
I promise I'll try to give him a little slack.
But yeah, Jaime, I mean, we've been unlucky these first 2 days. As an organizer, there's always that what if. I mean, there's one thing we can't control, which is Mother Nature. She's boss no matter what.
Right.
But we're gonna, I'm gonna do a little wind dance in a minute. Get some of the Dominicans.
I just spoke to our Italian friends, and they're gonna call them the Mafia Calabrese, and sink a piece of ice out on the Atlantic Ocean, so the water cools down and the thermals work.
Yeah, I mean, we have, like we were saying, day 2 here at the GKA Kite World Tour in Tarifa. We have thermal winds, so I mean, Playa de Valdevaqueros beach, it's unique because we have this beautiful dune like we have here on screen, which warms up. Then we have the thermal effect come in, supposedly. So unfortunately, first 2 days we haven't had wind, and it's been teasing us. I mean, it's there, we can feel it, and and also you can see Africa kind of in the back of your screen. There is only 16 kilometers away. The weather, to be able to predict weather in a place like Tarifa, I'm going to go as close to saying it's impossible.
It's pretty much impossible. I was just talking to Capitanía Marítima de Tarifa, which is once again an incredible help for us, predicting forecast charts and trends. And what is going on right now is that we just had a heat wave all over Europe, and that created a rise of temperature in the Atlantic of almost 2 degrees.
Wow!
That is creating a lot of moisture and haze on the air, and so that doesn't allow the thermals to kick in. There's too much moisture in the air. So that's what I was saying earlier, that we need to sink an iceberg on the western side.
Always they say double is better, so let's get them to sink 2, and then maybe we'll have 25 knots.
All right, so yeah, that is the case right now. So, and they say like of course the heat wave is over, so the temperature is supposed to get back to the normal trends, and it might take 1 or 2 days, but the water will cool down. Once the water cools down with this heat and not any strong components of wind in the forecast, not levante, not westerly winds, it should kick in. So right now, fingers crossed.
Everything crossed.
Fingers crossed, but at least, I mean, as you just said, there's nothing we can do about wind. I mean, we can pretty much solve every other problem, but wind, that's not a whole lot we can do about that. And yeah, we just wait for it, see how it goes. I told the boys to go get drunk tonight, and that's probably like in my days of rider, that usually was the case.
That was usually
no forecast. I go get a little,
and then it's perfect.
And boom, next day it's full action. So,
I mean, like we say, Jaime, one of the godfathers. You've been on tour. You've won events, Cabaretti back in the day. You are probably the guy that brought a lot of the moves in, especially the handles pass movement back in the day. How have you seen the sport progress, and what these guys are doing today?
Wow. And
girls?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I tell you, like, with a lot of pride, to be honest. Like, when I look at it, I go like, wow. What these guys have done, it's get to our limits and shatter the windows. When I see the likes of Carlos Mario or Maxime Chablot or on freestyle, like none of us dreamt of doing what these guys are doing. They pretty much did a PlayStation game out of the sport. It is amazing to see them, and I cannot get enough of watching freestyle. As for strapless freestyle, what can I tell you? We are in the midst of it. I started back in the day where Me Too and myself were the only ones doing strapless, and I mean some other of our generation, and we never thought what Ayrton and James and the rest of the boys are doing today. And when you see them mixing it up with proper surfing, wow, it's pride. That's what I feel. And I have to say, same thing for the girls.
Wow,
It is wow,
it.
wow, like wow, Pipa, wow, Mika, wow, all of them, amazing. Like commitment, and professionalism, and proper athletes, and also proud of them.
Yeah, no, I mean the girls pushing the envelope. We've had a few of them in during the last couple of days in the studio. Beautiful on, off the water, absolutely killing it, and they're giving the guys a run for the money.
Yep.
I want to see, a special event one day where it's the girls against the guys, and there's going to be some broken hearts. There's no doubt.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
But yeah, going back to the, Tarifa, this event also was one of the first strapless freestyle events. A lot of the new school strapless freestyle moves are actually some of the board offs that were back in the day. I bet if Shinny came back, he and Adam Carot, they would do some damage.
Yeah, Shinny must be cracking at home. Shinny must be watching these board flips and board spins, going like, what the? Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's kind of like the natural path. You get on the air, you start doing loops, you start like flipping, and then the natural thing is that you start like complicating things up a little bit with the board. For sure, the next step, if it follows the logic, the next step will be pushing the handle pass movement even further. I know that Ayrton and some others have already explored that road, but I'm pretty sure that that's where the sport is bound.
Yeah, it is insane what these guys and girls are doing, not attached to the board. And then, like you say, the likes of the freestyle, the twin tip guys and girls, triple handle passes, nines. I mean, I remember the days when we were starting to try doubles. I watch Liam or any of the guys or any of the girls on the water now. It just hurts.
It does, and like sometimes I gotta admit I gotta watch the recap to see what just happened.
Yeah, it's so fast, but also it has, because there was a moment where it kind of did a little bit like snowboard, where it was just 10, 10, 10, 10. It went a little bit, in my opinion, or in the end, personal opinion, went a little bit more quantity over quality. And now with the the super professional judging panel that we have now, I think they've toned it down, and they are really rewarding quality over quantity.
Yeah, and I think once again we need to thank one of the institutions of this sport, which is Aaron Hadlow. I think Aaron has taken the sport in many ways out the boundaries, but he has come into this world of very technical tricks, but adding lots of style, adding grabs, adding hold down grabs, and that is creating massive amount of sport and bringing down the pornography of pass into like stylish, and the generation behind him are just taking what Aaron left and taking it even further. So yeah, incredible what they're doing.
It's good to see. I think every generation has left stuff behind, and then I think that's part of it. No, you're a father yourself. I think you're going to want to see your three girls pushing you harder and harder, and then the same. So I think it's really good, and the whole family scene and how the sport is just progressing. I can't wait, in 10 years' time to see where this is. Hopefully, we'll be sat on this couch at this event again. But yeah, well, Jaime, I think. Hopefully I can see the flag starting to come up. It looks like maybe the thermal will be coming in. It's just gone 6 o'clock now. What do you reckon? Do you reckon maybe today we'll have some wind? There's a little bit of a breeze. Tomorrow and the next day is looking the forecast. Like you say, Capitania has been giving us double thumbs up. Hopefully those two thumbs will be truthful.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, you see, I'm a natural born optimist, so I'll never lose hope. But it looks really hazy still today. There's a lot of moisture in the air, and it's gonna be hard that for the thermals to kick in. But we'll be holding ground, waiting here for the wind. Everyone's having a great time. There's beers in the fridge, and lots of stories to be told. So we're happy.
Yeah, well, I definitely think it's almost time for us to grab one of those Duvel beers, Jaime. I think that's a good idea for the moment.
That's a great idea.
So thank you, Jaime, for once again for putting on this great event and for coming here and joining us here in the booth. We're going to go for a small commercial break, and hopefully we'll be back very soon with perfect 20 knots and the best of the best. battling it out, like Cristiano would say, against Mother Nature.
Welcome to the GKA Kite World Cup here in Tarifa, Spain, the kiteboarding capital of Europe. This is a combination event, which means we're going to be running freestyle division as well as the kite surf division. The freestyle registration took place this morning, and we have 32 men and 11 women from over 19 different nationalities registered to compete here this week. Our current top-ranked riders for the freestyle division are Carlos Mario, and for the women's division we have Michaeli Sol, Pippa van Iersel, and Bruna Kajia. Unfortunately, there was not enough wind to get started today, but we still have 5 days of competition ahead of us. Be sure to follow all the news updates and tune into the live stream.
Welcome back, everybody. Day 2 here of the GKA Kite World Cup, Tarifa Kite Pro 2019. Sitting here with head judge Mallory de la Villamarque. Mallory, welcome to the booth. Great to have you here. I think it's, we've been saying with a lot of the interviews we've been doing, unfortunately, wind hasn't come in, thermal component is there, but I hear Jaime Arias was saying to me before that he's got all the Italian mafia to just go and destroy an iceberg, so then the Atlantic will cool down and we'll be able to have some wind. So, yeah, we've been talking a lot over the interviews, Mallory, about this new open format. You're one of the founders of this open format, and I think it's really good to see all different aspects of the sport under one roof. Can you give us a little rundown of what this open format is?
Yeah, the idea is basically we want to adapt to the conditions. We've had pure freestyle for many years now on the tour, and the idea is to show a bit more bigger elements whenever there is very strong wind on competitions. The riders,
Mixed feelings.
yeah, some riders, obviously they've been training for pure freestyle for many years, so it's a bit hard for them to start putting in some bigger elements in their tricks, in their hits. But that's why we did, for now we will do only 2 events, or maybe 2 or 3 events with open formats. We give them discards so that they don't have to go to all those events. And on those events, like here, for example, if we get 40 knots of Levante, we will include some bigger, maybe 1, maybe 2 bigger tricks, depending on the wind strength. So the more wind, the more bigger elements we will show, and this way we can show that you can go higher than just a underpass at 2-3 meter high, and you can show all the different aspects of the sport.
Yeah, I think that's a super important phrase right there, is to show all the different aspects of the sports, because talking to a lot of the riders, it's actually what they do. If it's 25 knots, and under, they're going to be pulling off all the new school freestyle maneuvers, and then as soon as the wind starts pumping, they start going big, throwing in the kite loops, the mega loops. I think it's important.
It does make sense to actually adapt to the conditions. I mean, they're used to train and do underpasses in 40 knots because they were never told they could do also some bigger tricks. But with this format, some of them will probably adapt, and whenever they ride, for example, you come to Tarifa and you have perfect 20 knots, you go for freestyle. Absolutely. If you get 40 knots where it's even hard to unhook to do a trick, like we had in Le Cat this year, but because it was a pure freestyle event, they still had to do freestyle tricks, pure underpasses. So whenever we face those situations in strong wind on any competition with an open format, then we will tell them, okay guys, today we have 40 knots, we will do 2 underpasses, counting in your final score, and then 2 bigger tricks, which can be board-offs if they want, or mega loops, or even just simply rotations. And we'll see. I mean, it's the first year we are trying that. And so far on the the 2 open formats events, we had no win almost. So we will see whenever we can try it.
But I think that is the beauty of this new format. I mean, still to be proven. There's a lot of mixed feelings. I think it is definitely an evolution and kind of bringing the things together.
Yeah.
But I think to be able to come to a competition and adapt, because Mother Nature is boss. Mother Nature is Mother Nature, and if it's super windy, it doesn't make sense, or makes less sense to be doing something that maybe you can have a different discipline, which is a lot better for the show, for the safety, for the performance. And I think you guys at the GKA and the judging panel and making the rule books, I know you've spent hours on hours getting all this stuff together with Danny, and I think it's really good to see. And you're a rider yourself, you are on the professional athlete in kiteboarding, you've been with a lot of the top brands, now with F1. Very jealous about this trip that we can't say anything about. Very jealous. But I think it's great, and that's very important that it's the different generations, and you have the information of what you wanted as a rider when you were competing. You've been on the competition scene, so you know the judging. And now I did a question to Jaime before. How is it to see the ball from the other side of the fence?
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing now is that we're a whole bunch. We were competing back in the day all together. Now we're judging. and we have a different vision. We've seen the sport evolve for so many years, and I mean, it's cool. Once you go in the judges tower, you cannot be a competitor anymore, but I've passed that a long time, and I actually enjoy. It's nice to see now there is another generation coming, a lot of new talents.
Yeah, amazing.
And it's really cool to see them and how the sport is evolving. And yeah, I mean, I'm quite excited. Hopefully on a open format competition, we'll finally get those 35 knots and we can show, because I mean, when you watch the King of the Air, for someone who never saw kiteboarding on TV, on Facebook or YouTube, they'll go, whoa, or even on the beach, you go, it's quite impressive to see someone jumping 15 meter high and do a mega loop.
And simple to understand.
It's quite simple. But we don't want only this.
No.
It's also great to see, I mean, in 15 knots, it makes way more sense to go for pure freestyle, because you don't want to push them to do a board off in 15, 20 knots. So that's why I think this open format that englobes kind of everything will be successful, not only for the riders, but also for the sponsors, for the brands, and overall for the whole.
Head judge on the freestyle side, and also one of the top judges on the strapless kite surf side. It's amazing to see how both sports are evolving. I mean, like you say, the stuff the freestyle guys are doing now, the doubles, the triples, but also the quality over quantity. I really look forward in the next 5 years to see where that side of the sport's going. And then you see the strapless riders, how they take in all of the different sports, and like with all the new school strapless freestyle, you can see some of the elements that you and I used back in the days in the competitions with board offs. So we have a chance, man. We have a chance. It could be a comeback.
Strapless is the new old school.
But I mean, and then the handle pass aspect, like guys like Ayrton and me too pushing it. It's great to see, and I think now that all the different aspects of the sport are coming together, I bet the strapless riders are gonna, be hungry and take motivation from the freestyle riders, and vice versa. So I think we're probably going to see another step up after a year or two of them being together on tour.
Yeah, I think it's great to have events with both disciplines. It's cool to see them hanging around, knowing each other. And I think it's just great that we have both disciplines finally under the umbrella of GKA. It's doing a lot of good to the sport, and the product looks really nice right now, and hopefully will help the sport grow and get better and bigger. I really hope so.
Definitely. And then, one of the purest sides of our sport, the surfing side, so the kite surf when there's waves. We were very lucky to be in Cape Verde in February.
That was amazing.
You spent a month there when I was only there in a week in the booth and I couldn't go out. To be able to replicate those conditions, it was perfect. To start the year with that, and the turns and what the guys are doing and the girls with a surfboard with the kite now it's really impressive, eh?
Yeah, it's really amazing what you can do today with a kite and a surfboard. It looks more and more like surfing, and luckily we have more ex-pro surfers or pro surfers that get into kiting, and that will be, it's the best, because you will attract more and more surfers to our sports, because it's a perfect
combination.
I mean, when there is no wind, you go surfing, and whenever the wind picks up, there are many spots where the wind picks up in the afternoon, and you just rig your kite and you keep surfing, and you take like maybe 20 times more waves than if you're surfing. So, and you have so many good riders. It looks good. It looks really good to see those guys ripping in the waves.
No, definitely. I mean, now like the new thing on the cards now is the surf foil. So we've seen the surf foil and the wing foil. I know you're super into surf foiling. With a brand like F1, it has a very huge range. Can't wait to see the new 2020 gear. Just all of the guys that come back from Madagascar. You're going to this secret location where I know you'll be stealing a lot of Raphael's toys. Your garage is going to have to get bigger and bigger. But really, it's great to see how the waterman and waterwoman's quiver and sports are evolving, because in the end we do this for the passion, for the lifestyle, and because we want to be in that H2O with salt as much as possible.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the more the more toys you have, the more things to play with, the better. And I think that's the philosophy of the GKA on the tour. It's the idea. That's what we did with the strapless, with the kitesurf tour. The riders now are able, if there is no wind and no waves, we go for freestyle. If we have perfect waves, then we go for wave riding. And if you have like an average so-so, what we have in many spots, then we do both. So it's a bit the idea to adapt to Mother Nature, to the condition you find anywhere you go. And that's what I like to do as well. If there is no wind, I go surfing. If there is very small waves, I go surf foiling. And then strong wind, strapless. And you just adapt to whatever we get.
Adapt to the conditions that we have at hand. I think that is super important, and like you say, the GKA have done a very good job of making that happen in all the aspects of all the different disciplines of the sport. Also, I want to touch a little bit on the ladies, the women kiters, both strapless and freestyle. You've been a judge for a long time on a lot of different aspects, on a lot of different disciplines. What about the girls? They are absolutely ripping, and they're hungry. I can feel it's been a while since I felt like being around a competition scene where you can see the girls, they want it. They really want to push, and they're looking at the guys, people like Gisela and Bruna and Carolina, they stepped it up. And I think now with girls like Mika and Pipa and a lot of the girls pushing, and then a lot of the big air riders like Hannah Whiteley, they're hungry. You can see they want it, hey?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say Mika there is a next level in the girls division. And all the other girls pushing. Francesca, she's not here as well. She's also riding really hard. And Mika is like I compared to Gisela back in the day. She was just so good compared to the others. And I'm sure she's pushing the level, and she will continue pushing and doing tricks that only guys are capable of doing. And I will just push the others to do the same. And it's good to see also Pipa, Hannah, they're more into bigger. They like to loop their kites, and that will also help push the level on the bigger aspect. And the girls in strapless, wave riding, you got some amazing talents like Muna and Jalou also. And strapless freestyle, it's just the beginning. It's a very new discipline, so they're all very motivated. It's a bunch of friends, and they try to hang out together, push each other on the water, and it's good. It's gonna get better and better.
I think it is all about being surrounded by the right people, pushing you on and off the water, and it's really important. And we see actually at this competition, there's a couple of Groms. There's 14-year-old riders coming in on the strapless and on the freestyle side as well. So it's really good to see the next generation. Yeah. Mallory, we're getting old. You can see the next. It does go fast, but we're still having a good time.
Yeah, but it's now to see. I mean, when I stopped competing, Alex Pastor was starting, and now he's not there yet, but he's starting to miss some events. Yuri stopped competing this year, and you really see it's a cycle, and now a few of them are starting to slow down on competition. They'll probably continue doing trips, videos, and continue to try to make their career longer and longer. But it's a cycle, and everyone has to one day say, okay, I have to start doing something else.
Yeah, I mean, life is a cycle. There's no doubt about it, and I think we can be privileged to still be involved and to see firsthand the new generations and try and give them some good advice, or at least the right advice to not make the same mistakes that we did, and let them make their own ones to keep evolving. But yeah, I mean, today, day 2, doesn't look like the wind's coming in yet. I can see Juan Antonio, our race director.
I've seen a few judges leaving already.
I think it's getting to that time. Juan Antonio, our race director, I can see him, looking side to side. The general is ready to jump on any little bit of wind. But yeah, I mean, both of us, we've grown up here, Mallory, and touching a little bit on Tarifa. Tarifa for us, special location. You've originally come from the Caribbean, you know, from Guadalupe.
happy you say it.
Yeah, I'm glad. I could have said French, but I know you get it. So yeah,
Caribbean.
you grew up on the island, and you come from windsurfing, and your parents have the passion to show you the water sports. And I think it's super important, and we both of us can consider ourselves lucky to have our family behind us to push us, and you know, to be sat where we are today.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for my parents, I would have never started in the water sports. First windsurfing, then kiting, coming to Tarifa for this passion. And yeah, Tarifa, it's a little piece of paradise. I mean, I've been here for 16 years now, and every time we travel a lot, we see amazing places, but whenever you come back, that's where you say, well, this place is just amazing.
Home.
For some people it's hard because it can get very windy, and when you're not used to live in a place where you get 30 knots for like 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks, not so much anymore. We have less and less 3 weeks Levante. I remember back in the day it was like non-stop, and now hopefully, I mean, the forecast doesn't look amazing, but you never know. Maybe tomorrow there is only 10 knots announced, and maybe we'll get a really good thermal. So it's a bit hard to predict, but everyone cross fingers, and I really hope we will make the event happen and have all the disciplines and the ladders completed.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's to be able to have it in a location like the hometown Tarifa is great. It looks like today we're going to call it a day for today. I can see, like you said, the judges have jumped out there.
Yeah,
very close to my
behind.
duvet beers. Have or do not touch.
You can
So
start
I
opening the beer.
think for today this is gonna be it for us. We're gonna, you know, go and try some of that famous Tarifa tuna. Enjoy the night. We'll talk about the nightlife of Tarifa on another day.
I'm done with that.
So yeah, well, Mallory, thank you very much for
Welcome.
being here with us. It's great to have like such a important panel of judges and to be involved. And also, you know, we've known each other since we were kids, so it's always good to have the whole family together. Once again, thank you for being us.
Thank you.
And for the viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. Hope that you liked it. Got some interviews, some of the key peoples of the event. And tomorrow we are going to have perfect 25 knots, I promise. So I'm Josie Ashler.
Hope so.
This is Mallory de Villamarque, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Cheers.
Welcome to the GKA Kite World Cup here in Tarifa, Spain, the kiteboarding capital of Europe. This is a combination event, which means we're going to be running freestyle division as well as the kite surf division. The freestyle registration took place this morning, and we have 32 men and 11 women from over 19 different nationalities registered to compete here this week. Our current top-ranked riders for the freestyle division are Carlos Mario, Maxime Chablot, and Valentine Rodriguez. And for the women's division, we have Michaeli Sol, Pippa van Iersel, and Bruna Kajia. Unfortunately, there was not enough wind to get started today, but we still have 5 days of competition ahead of us. Be sure to follow all the news updates and tune into the live stream.